Welcome back. Joining us now is North Central Sports Information Director, Clark Teuscher. Clark, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
So the baseball team bounces back from a sweep against Elmhurst by taking 3 games over Milliken, and they're right there in the conference hunt.
After their loss to Chicago last week, they kind of had a meeting, and the coaches really took the team to task about being prepared mentally to play. They had a lot of mental mistakes, a lot of errors, a lot of runners left on base in key situations, and really kind of let them know that this is not what this team is capable of. You're capable of better than this. And they went down to Milliken for 3 games, scored 36 runs over the course of those 3 games, in getting a sweep there to get back into a tie for first place in the conference standings. And then came back home on Tuesday and beat a pretty good Dominican team 11-0, and had a senior pitcher, Aaron Kovac, who had pitched reliably out of the bullpen this year but hadn't made a start. He comes in and pitches a 2-hit shutout. So certainly an impressive rally by that team, and with a couple of weeks left in the regular season, it was well timed.
And it wasn't just the pitching getting it done. Joe Turek comes away with CCIW Hitter of the Week honors, and he had quite the week, batting over 500, 3 doubles, a home run, and 11 RBIs in the week.
All 11 of those RBIs came in the Milliken series. Chicago mainly just walked him and let him put him on first base, which happens from time to time with a power hitter like that. But Joe definitely is a guy that they're going to need going forward to produce a lot of runs for them. And he certainly did that against Milliken. And
you mentioned it that the Cardinals move into a tie for first place, but obviously they're not alone. 4 teams at 9-6 and 7 teams within 3 games of first place. This CCIW baseball tournament is really up for grabs this year.
It's going to come right down to the last day of the season. It's one of those years where you usually expect somebody to come and rise to the top by this point in the season, and that just hasn't happened, mainly because all the teams are very comparable in terms of their strengths and weaknesses. So it'll certainly be interesting to see. There are a lot of matchups between the top teams here in the last couple of weeks, and we'll have to see how it shakes out.
Well, one team that doesn't have to worry about their postseason yet is the women's lacrosse team. They clinched their bid to the MWLC conference in a game where they scored their highest point total of the season.
They went to Fontbonne on Saturday in St. Louis. They'd had about a week to prepare for that game, so they were physically and mentally ready to go. Wound up winning 19-3. Danielle Fiala with 6 goals, sets new single season and career scoring records as a junior with the lacrosse program. They're definitely in good shape heading into. They've got their final week of the regular season this week. They'll be playing their senior night game Wednesday night against Augustana College. The first time they've ever played them in varsity competition. So the stage is set for them to finish up a pretty successful year.
Yeah, you mentioned Danielle Fiala breaking the career goal record. She passes Amy Frazzini, a Cardinal senior who's injured this year. It's got to be tough for Amy, but she's got to be proud to see her teammate accomplish that, especially with the year to go.
Yeah, Amy was knocked out early in the season. She was hurt for a while last year as well. So she was certainly a standard bearer for that program. As in its early days, that was the leading scorer for the first 2 years. Actually scored the first goal in the program's history. And on Wednesday, she and Shannon Prince will be honored as the first 4-year letter winners in the history of the women's lacrosse program. So it was certainly a proud moment for 2 young ladies who really kind of helped that program get off the ground.
And the program has really just improved over the years. With 0 wins that first season, they just seem to keep getting better and better.
Well, that was the goal, is to steadily improve over the first several years, and I think they've done that. They've certainly played a tougher non-conference schedule this year than they had in previous years. So the record might not necessarily show it, but certainly a much improved team over what they had last season even.
And the women's track and field team keeps to improve this year. They got second at the Augustana Invite, and it just seems that this team just keeps coming and staying at the top in these conference meets.
Well, they're progressing as the coaches would have hoped. They're continuing to improve performances across a variety of events. They've got 1 more week before the conference championships, so they've got a chance to sharpen up a little bit and get things figured out in terms of their relay teams and the 4th or 5th positions. That'll be the last ones to compete in the individual events of the conference championships.
And at that Augustana meet, Chelsea Armstrong breaks her own school record in the discus. This team seems to be really hitting their stride, especially in the field events with Chelsea Armstrong and Bathsheba Mays in the triple jump.
Chelsea's been the top thrower for that team for about 3 years now, and has always been kind of on the cusp of getting a trip to the national championships, but has never quite been able to get there. So she's certainly motivated to do that. Bathsheba has been somebody who's been competed across a variety of events. She's throwing the javelin this year. She's done the triple jump. I believe she even threw the hammer last week. So certainly a very talented athlete. And it's good to see her continue to improve her performances as the season goes on, and along with the rest of the team.
What are the chances for the Cardinals to take home the conference crown? They've gone up against, Augustana throughout the year, Wheaton, Illinois Wesleyan, but it's hard to tell sometimes in these meets because you may not have your full squad. What do the women's track and field team have to do to take home the title this year?
We'll continue to do what they've been doing, which is produce, in each of the different phases of the meet. They've been up against Illinois Wesleyan twice, who's ranked in the top 10. It seems like every time we beat them, they rise in the rankings. Going up against them a third time, certainly there's not going to be any intimidation factor or anything like that, because it's something they've done before. It's just a matter of taking care of business as usual.
And the men's track and field team will go into the conference meet as the favorites, but they still got a couple meets to go, and one of those is the Drake Relays, one of the most prestigious meets in the country.
This has been going on for over 100 years. Track's a very high caliber of field of athletes. North Central's got about 20 individuals going. It's the largest group we've ever had going to that meet. When you think about some of the teams that North Central's put up in the past, winning national championships outdoors the last 2 years, and this is the largest group that's going, it's certainly an impressive feat.
Any chance that the Cardinals may stumble in the CCIW meet? Augustana's made it interesting the past couple of years, but the Cardinals seem to have really set the tone this season.
It would be quite a surprise. I think in terms of overall depth and in terms of the top performances and how far above the rest of the conference that they've been in several events, it would be quite a shock not to see that happen.
Well, Clark, thanks so much for joining us, and we look forward to following the Cardinals in the postseason.
Thank you.
The softball team wraps up CCIW play this weekend in Rock Island with a doubleheader against the Vikings of Augustana. First pitch set for 1 p.m. I'm Marc Dahlquist. See you here next week on the Cardinal Report.